the touch of jazz.
The set that you did on the Graham Norton show, was that just really good timing?
You know what? He called me and said, hey, I want to know if you can come to London tomorrow. I have an idea of something that I want to do. I was in Vegas. I said, okay. I jumped on a plane and flew. Well, I was in LA. And I jumped on a plane and flew. We walked into a room, and it was funny because I took Ferno with me, and I think he was just amazed at how the entire performance was planned out at a table. We were eating sandwiches, and he was like, yeah, I want to do something. And I was like, okay. I was like, well, you know what? How about if we do this and then come right out of here with this and do this? And it's like, oh, man, it's cool. And then Alfonso would come out, all right, man, cool. It was almost like a huddle. And we clapped, break. We went, and one shot did it at rehearsal. And we always would kind of hold back a little bit at rehearsal and, did it. And I jumped on a plane and flew back the next morning and landed and to 100,000 tweets of the Graham Norton show. But I mean, and that all that does is that brings the aggravation of, if we can do it this easy, what are we waiting for? And then, but like I said, I understand. It's kind of like you can't really put a $25 million movie on hold, or put a tour on hold, or to just kind of do it. It's just the time.
Can he not put it in his diary in advance and say, right, summer of 2015, we're going back into the studio, or we're going on tour for a couple of months, and I'm just not going to book any movies for that time?
Well, you know what it is? It's the same thing like when we were talking about earlier, like shutting the studio down and just having to get yourself mentally ready. I don't know if it's a thing that we can just book studio time and just walk in. I kind of think it and for me, it'd probably be a whole lot easier because I live this part, more than he does. But it's a deprogramming. I would always say that it's not the easiest thing in the world to go from the studio to going on the road to go back in the studio. I have to take a little bit of time to get myself mentally prepared to go on the road, to know that my records and the mixes and all the rest of this stuff is what I really need to focus on. And it's the same thing when I want to go in the studio and make a project. I may not touch my turntables. It's very hard because I think I put 100% into both, that you can't put 100% into both at the same time, that I kind of need to back off of this and kind of do it. And I think it's the same thing with him, with the acting. At least both of mine are music related, so it might be a little bit tougher for him to just, because we might need that week of just getting him up to speed.
Are you afraid, maybe the wrong word to use, but are you afraid at all that after all this time you get back into the studio? Or
Never.
No?
Never. I mean, like I said, the Graham Norton, there are innate qualities with Will and I that will never go anywhere. He can show up, and in 15 minutes we can go on stage and do an entire show off of eye signals. And anyone around me that sees that does not understand how we can do that still. Like, I know the eye or the hand signal that I want to do 2 verses. I want to do 1 verse. I know the eye and the hand signals of what songs he wants to do. I know when he wants me to do something. I know when he wants me to extend something. And that comes for 25 years of being on the road and just performing with somebody that you have that level of chemistry with. So the chemistry part will never be an issue. Will never be an issue.